Imagine a car. Everyone praised it for its safety, until the day that crash test was released. Those images shocked millions. When the vehicle was first launched, it was marketed as a safety revolution. The core message of the ad campaign, if you want to protect your family, choose this car. High crash test ratings were heavily promoted. Durability videos went viral on social media. The brand's prestige positioned the car as modern armor. YouTube was flooded with crash test videos with millions of views. Some content creators even compared the car to a tank. But behind all this perception, the hidden truth remained unknown. Assuming every unit produced has the same quality is a huge mistake. Minor variations on the production line can compromise safety. In this case, the test vehicle was specially built. In other words, the test version used for PR purposes differed from mass production. The initial crash test vehicle was a reinforced showcase model. This discrepancy was later exposed by an independent safety testing organization. In a real crash test, the car's structural integrity was seriously questioned. In March 2024, an independent crash test was conducted in Europe. The car was tested in front of cameras. The results were shocking. The driver's side was completely crushed. Airbags deployed late. Rear seat dummies did not survive. The crash test video gained 9 million views on YouTube in just 3 days. Social media exploded with outrage. People started asking, what exactly were we sold? Users began sharing their VNZ to check for recalls. From the brand, not a single official statement. Every day, hundreds of people drive this car. But in the event of a crash, safety remains uncertain. The car is still on display in showrooms, still being sold with the label Premium Safety. But now, many realize that safety was just an illusion. So what did the brand do after the scandal? Absolutely nothing. No press release, no apology. Because if they admit the truth, their brand image collapses. And silence became their only defense. A father who lost his child in a car crash walked to the company's headquarters. Shouting, he asked, "Why are you silent?" Everything started with that question. Year 2022. One of Europe's best-selling SUV models reached millions of households. Slogan: the safe choice for families. In the commercials, babies sleeping safely in child seats, the SUV gliding on snowy roads, smiling, happy family faces. But behind the scenes, the truth was the exact opposite. The incident, a tragic crash in Sweden. The victim, a 7-year-old child. Cause, a design flaw in the SUV's rear seatbelt system. Speed, just 50 kilometers an hour, and the system failed to protect the child. Crash report, the vehicle's safety system failed dramatically. Most shocking detail, the company never made a statement about the incident. Leaked internal communication. This issue must not reach the public. Our target audience is built on trust. 4 months after the crash, lawyers sent an official letter to the company. Response from the brand: silence. No press release. No public disclosure. That car had received top scores from European safety tests. Test scores, stars, awards, they were all widely promoted in the media. If this incident became public, not just the car, the credibility of the entire system would be questioned. The brand couldn't take that risk. Silence was actually a deliberate PR strategy. Instead of the truth, perception was managed. Silence was backed by paid media. The story was buried on social platforms. Sponsored review videos were pushed on YouTube. Negative comments were buried in algorithms. The company didn't control the truth. It controlled appearances. For months after the crash, one person stayed silent. That person, an engineer who worked on the vehicle project. They leaked information from the inside. They spoke with files and documents. Their conscience broke their silence. In the next episode, we'll reveal this engineer's shocking testimony. But first, we ask you this. If a company knew about a deadly flaw in a vehicle sold to millions, why would it stay silent? It was revealed how the vehicle was portrayed as safe through a PR game. If it's not safe, how did it get 5 stars? If it passed the tests, why did a child die? The answer? It wasn't in the tests, it was in the PR game that controlled the test. Ads might deceive you, but safety tests, star ratings. This is the story of how those stars were polished with money. Year 2021. Location European NCAP Test Center, vehicle SUV by brand X. Which brand do you think I'm talking about? Result: the safest family vehicle award headlines exploded. Sales skyrocketed. The tested vehicle wasn't a standard factory model. Adjustments made before the test, steering system specially fixed, brake pads replaced just before testing, crash angle optimized for maximum scoring. Optional safety systems were activated, not included in standard version. Outcome: the car tested. The car customers bought. The difference? Your life could depend on it. The brand had been sponsoring the NCAP system for years. They were able to suggest configurations for testing. This dynamic has a name: the grey influence. Tests appeared independent, but conditions were quietly shaped to favor the brand. After the test results were announced, 12 different YouTube channels posted the exact same headline: "Your kids are safe with the new SUV." All of them were sponsored. In the videos, same script, same music, same visuals. They weren't reviews. They were PR commercials disguised as reviews. On the brand's official website, there was a tiny asterisk note: test results obtained, with a model equipped with optional safety features. In other words, the illusion of safety was intentionally inflated. The PR strategy was built on this principle: look safe, truth doesn't matter, perception is enough. People trusted the stars. The brand exploited that trust. Someone who worked inside the system for years finally chose not to stay silent. They leaked internal documents and exposed the PR game. In the next episode, what that engineer experienced, the threats they received, the documents they revealed. A former employee is about to make a shocking insider revelation. An unnamed former employee worked in Brand X's safety department for 6 years. Their responsibilities: analyzed test results, prepared reports, evaluated accidents. But over time, they noticed reports were being altered, certain data was being erased. Incident: while driving in the middle lane on the highway, the SUV's steering suddenly locked. The vehicle crashed into the median. An 8-year-old child died. Initial instruction from HQ: report this as user error. Act as if there was no issue with the steering system. However, the former employee knew. The driver had previously filed a complaint about the steering. Upper management ordered those service records to be removed from public files. The same SUV model went through a side impact crash test in Brazil. Result: the dummy child in the rear seat was violently ejected through the window. But the press release said, "Excellent rear seat protection." The employee secretly archived the real test footage and reports. Over time, they observed disturbing patterns. Reports were being rewritten. Missing systems were falsely reported as present. ABS was marked active even when it wasn't functioning. An internal document the employee received contained this line: "We must launch this model before the year ends. Even if the safety score is low, PR will control the media." At that moment, everything became clear. Safety wasn't a priority. It was a public relations strategy. Engineers, managers, media, all were silent. Why? They didn't want to lose their jobs, their salaries, their position. For the former employee, conscience weighed heavier than silence. They secretly reached out to media outlets and shared test documents, crash footage, internal emails. Some news outlets refused to publish the story because of their advertising deals with the brand. The former employee turned to YouTube instead. A video was anonymously uploaded with this title: "Speaking out about Brand X, the truth must be revealed." In just 2 days, It reached hundreds of thousands of views. The brand issued no response, chose to remain silent. Today, that SUV model is still on the market, but now many people are starting to question what those stars really mean. The question is, when buying a car, do you trust the ad or the test? And what if even the tests are just part of the PR? Then maybe the real question is true safety only possible when the silent ones finally speak out?